The top 5 reasons why I wanted to find my parents was I wanted to know who I was. I wanted to know where I came from, my medical history, what I looked like, and why I acted the way I do. My name is Patrick Warburton. I've been searching for my birth parents for 19 years. I was born in 1982, and that's when I was adopted to my adopted family. What I did on my own to try to find my parents, it all started with the adoption.com. I was on different websites, Facebook, putting up information everywhere, trying to get a hold of private investigators. And it just seemed to go absolutely nowhere until I was able to get a hold of Origins, and then they connected us.
What it was like for me when I found out I had an older brother that I didn't know about was it was just kind of shocking at first. At first I thought my dad was joking.
So when I received the call from Origins about possibly having a new family member, I thought it was fake. I thought actually it was a scam. And I even asked that question. I was like, is this like real or... Like, I was so confused because I was like, what's going on?
When I realized that it was true, that I had another brother, I was extremely anxious and nervous to meet him and what it would mean for our family.
Well, there was a telephone call from Justin, and as John normally does when we talk with our kids, he puts it on speaker. Justin didn't know he was on speaker though. Justin said the mom's name, Kathy.
I knew almost immediately by her action after I hung up. She said, "Do we need to have a conversation?" And she looked at me and then cracked up laughing.
John slid out of the chair on one knee.
He said the name of Patrick's mother, and all at once I knew for sure that Patrick was mine. There wasn't a doubt about it.
The first thing I did was call my sister. And my sister said, it's probably our uncle's kid. And she said, our dad just wasn't a partier, so it's probably their kid.
Along the way, I did get discouraged to where the point that I did give up. I actually stopped looking because I hadn't heard nothing in 15 years. And then I started back up again, thinking new technology, new sites, new DNA, thing like that. And that's where I started.
It's been really exciting. It's like the biggest change since I was born.
It was a little awkward at first, but I felt like it was just the missing puzzle piece, that he was always meant to be here.
Once I realized Patrick was my son, it only took about 10 seconds worth of thought to know that I did want him in my life.
My kids were all excited about meeting their brother. John was all excited about meeting his son. And I was like, I'm the stepmom? That's not right. That's the bad guy in every movie.
When I talked with Patrick or called him, that was very strange at first. This is John. Yeah, my goodness. I'm okay, how about you? But then it was very much kind of like I had been missing him for his whole life.
How are you?
So I've got my daughter here, and she's actually videoing this conversation, just so you know.
Is this Candace?
That's Candace, yes.
Hi, Candace.
Hi, Patrick.
It seemed very familiar at that time.
Sorry, I'm fighting back tears here. I'm trying to, and they're tears of happy. This is great.
And I said, Dad, you're a great man. I know you did the right thing. And I am extremely excited and happy for this family, that this has happened.
Would you like to record any thoughts?
I don't know, it just seems weird. I don't know. Actually, hearing his voice is a little bit different.
He sounds just like Justin.
A lot. Like I said, the only Sad part of this is that his mother's not around.
When he first walked in the door, it was like there was a recognition there. And I was like, oh, hello, there you are. You're one of my kids.
It came time finally. There was a myriad of emotions probably in the 30 minutes before him arriving. But then, took a big deep breath, the doorbell rang, I answered the door, and there he was. Somebody who I didn't know that I was missing, but there he was.
When meeting him for the first time, I was nervous, but I had a lot of excitement and joy in being able to say, oh, you know, Origins helped me find him.
I think somebody in my position, what I would say to them is just take a deep breath and be open. Just open your heart.
And even if it is a risk, it's a risk worth taking.
Most men, well, most families, they get to hold their children at the very beginning of their life when they're born or whatever. That didn't happen with Patrick and I. Instead, he was 38 years old. But yet, when the first time I got to see him, it was just like that. It was just like holding your baby for the first time.
If I were to give advice to somebody in this same situation of figuring out that there's somebody related to them this close and they didn't know it, you know, my advice would be to go meet them. Go find them. You'd be missing out on a lot if you didn't.
My parents wanted a few minutes with him first, understandably. And I think they were here for, I don't know, half hour or something before we got here.
One of the biggest impacts that it's been for me is I actually get to put a face with a name finally, you know, and the search is over.
After meeting Patrick and learning of his adoptive parents, Jim and Carol, if and when I get to meet them, I want to thank them. I'd like to throw my arms around them and tell them thank you so much for raising this guy for me.
I would say it's worth it to work with a company like Origins to find your family, because everybody needs a place where they belong, where they fit, and to know where you come from.
When I first met Patrick, it was like he was gone on a vacation. It was like I always known him my whole life, and he was gone on a really long vacation.
One thing I loved about the Origins research team is every time something would come up, they'd notify me. You know, they'd let me know, you know, about as things were progressing. When they did finally find John, they come up with a perfect means of being able to reach out to him very smoothly, and I think it worked.
Yeah, from my end of it, on the receiving end, it was very cordial, decent. It worked out really well.